Good morning and welcome to this very cold Tuesday, February 16th, 2021, Mardi Gras Day. Although there's not much really happening on Mardi Gras Day. Too cold and too scammed. All right. But anyhow, we have a taste challenge. We have that at least. Last day of Carnival, and it's going to be like a carnival. Ronrico silver label introduced in 1860. Currently produced at the Cruzan distillery in the United States Virgin Islands. Originally, it was a Puerto Rican rum, but the company got acquired by Seagram's, General Wine and Spirits Division of Seagram's, and then it got sold off to somebody else. Now it's distilled by Cruzan and bottled in Kentucky by Beam Suntory. So this old Puerto Rico history is gone. It did receive a designation Rum of Nobles from the King of Spain in, I think, 1889. Rum of Nobles. No website listing. It's used to be a prominent brand. Now it's just a relic, kind of like Schlitz beer. You can find Schlitz, but it's simply a name. Now, here's one that you will find around. Not prominent exactly. You know, you won't see television commercials or things like that, but you'll find it at most stores. Well, you'll find Ronrico at many, not most, many of your liquor stores, but you'll find this one most everywhere. Castillo, there's the castle, Castillo silver Puerto Rican rum. Introduced in Puerto Rico in 1914, the Ron de Castillo y Silla, Catano, Puerto Rico, Rich Coast. On the back, they always have a recipe on the Bacardi brands. 1 part Castillo, it's called Castillo and Cola. I'm not going to read that to you. You can get a bottle. You say Bacardi, you said, yeah, well, Bacardi owns this. Okay, so it's under their ownership. And it says on the website, our family of brands, rum brands. Of course, Bacardi, Superior, Gold, Black, Spice, Reserva Ocho, Añejo Cuarto, Gran Reserva Diaz, Reserva Limitada, Gran Reserva Maestro de Ron, Solera, Añejo, Heritage, Oakhart, okay? Castillo, you have Silver, Gold, Añejo, and Spiced. There's one called Banks rum. I've never seen Banks, but I guess I'd have to look for it. 5 Island Blend and 7 Golden Blend. Single Cane Estate rums. Worthy Park Estate, Jamaica, and Consuelo Estate, Dominican Republic. Pirat rums. Santa Teresa, 1796, Gran Reserva, Claro, Linaje. Facundo rum collection, Neo, Eximo, Exquisito, Paraíso. And then the flavored rums, ready to drink, canned, the Breezers, which I think are sold in Canada. Yeah, breezer.canada. Ready to serve rums, and so on. Okay, you can spend a lot of time looking at their website. Kyle, good morning. How's the weather? Very cold, 23 degrees. Worrying about my pipes. I got the water running. It seems to be doing okay. Hate it. I thought February it would start warming up. Never got to 32 degrees for an hour in November. And then it never got to freezing in December and January. So I said, if we can get to February, we got it made. Get to February, it starts getting colder. The Whiskey Scout, morning, you rum tasting wild man. Thank you. I'm a rum tasting wild man. I'm wild. So here's the showdown between the fabulous Ronrico and Castillo Silver. Well, Castillo is pretty common. Choking up now. I bought this liter bottle. It's a unique bottle, like this curvy bottle. I bought this bottle at Discount Depot. It's $7.99 for a liter. Dark Lotus says morning. Morning to you. 1 liter for $7.99. Price has gone up a little bit. Oh, you're finally trying rum. I've been trying rum. I just circle back to it. I've been doing it for years. This is the obvious Obviously, this is a Jim Beam bottle because not the regular Jim Beam, but you know, they're the Beam Company bottles. Go buy Old Granddad bottled in bond, Julius Kessler blended, and it's all the same shape bottle. Some are brown, some are clear, but it's that same pattern. You can tell who's bottling it. I gotta make new tags. I can make it. I gotta make new tags. All right. So this is Ronrico, which has been mixing me up and confusing me. Here's Castillo metal cap. You know why it's confusing me? Because it's just like every other rum. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to mow for a while. No, but I will in about a week, I bet you, because the weeds are growing. And the freezing gonna hurt those things. Man, they'll just come back, laugh at that cold, like, haha. Nah, yeah, it'll kill the ferns and some other plants, and I'll cut them down to the ground, but they'll grow back faster and stronger than ever. Really, I'm telling you. How do, Ronrico? I'm fine, Beer Hound. Thanks for watching. So I don't protect my plants. If they can't survive the freeze, I'll let them die. Die. Don't come back. So the only ones I have are ones that can survive it. And if they turn brown, I just cut them to the ground and they come back like crazy, like craziness, like a jungle. That's why I got rid of some of those flowers. I had some really pretty flowers in the front yard, violet and pink. But they were too much trouble. Like they would just grow wild, and you had to cut them back, and they grow wild. I mean, it seemed like they would grow wild overnight. And then my friend David was saying it's like a jungle. I said, I know, it's driving me crazy. So I just cut them down. I still got the roses; they're pretty. I'm going through the original Dragon Quest. I don't remember anyone ever asking you into video games. No, I don't mess. I never did like video games since I was a little kid. When they first came out with Pong in 1972. I just didn't like them. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. So Castillo is sort of unique. Has a unique flavor, which I don't recall. The Ronrico tastes just like standard. You understand? It's like just standard. Now, but they're old. See, they're older than Bacardi. They're 2 years older than Bacardi. So you can't say they copied Bacardi. Maybe Bacardi copied them. They're both from Puerto Rico. Well, anyway, it's going to be a tough challenge. So, then I'm going to bring in the tequila. And when you see these two brands, you're going to say, oh, no, not. That's like the lowest of the low end. I know, I'm starting at the low. I'm starting below the ladder. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on the first rung of the ladder. I'm going to start below the ladder. Hey, don't blame me. Blame Sazerac. They put it out. They sell it. I got it cheap, thankfully. And then I'll climb the ladder. Then the Mezcal, I'll climb. But I'm going to start with, I think, Monte Alban Mezcal. Seems pretty popular. It's not expensive or anything. It's cheap. It's like $19.99. But you wouldn't have been the right age for NES. I'm not the right age for any video games. I used to like to play Risk. Okay. See, this has some pungent, like sugarcane stalks. It's almost like you can pick up the grass in it, because sugarcane is a type of grass. It's a grass. You can make a weapon out of it. You can make a fishing pole out of it, but technically it is a grass. And the pulp is sugar. All right. That smells clean, but it's mostly clean, but there's a little fermented character and a little grass. Okay. There's a little sweetness here, a little Very, 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 very light molasses. But basically, it's like you open the sugar bowl and you just take in white sugar to put in coffee. That's what it smells like. And honestly, that's what it tastes like. But I still can't get it right. Like it's almost like it's a chameleon. It's like Ronrico tastes the same as every rum I try, even though the other rums I try don't taste the same. It like mimics. It's a mockingbird. It's the mockingbird of rum. It tastes like all the rest. You say no, yes. Now the gold, the Ronrico gold, the one I did already about a year ago, yeah, it did fine. It's not fabulous or fantastic or anything special. But for $8.99 a bottle, I paid $9.99. But you can get it around someplace $8.99. Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, go buy it. I say buy it. Why not? Heck, ain't gonna hurt nothing. Okay. Depends on what you're looking for. Now, if you're saying, oh, I'm going to pay $8.99, I want world class, I want the best. Well, then you obviously have some intellectual challenges. All right. Taste time. Let's see what it looks like outside. Oh, that has a peppery note. Oh, black pepper. Little daylight coming in, but not much. I mean, it's just the break of dawn. Dawn busters. You've been. So this says a light black pepper note, a little barrel, wood barrel. They probably use an old used bourbon barrels. So let's think about it. If Beam is bottling this, I don't know where Cruzane gets their barrels. Maybe they make their own. Okay, probably they don't. Same thing, peppery note. Wood barrel, like toothpick wood, oak. Oh man, the price $7.99 for a liter of Castillo. Well, you probably pay $8.99. Still, you're getting a whole liter. But the Ronrico, I paid $9.99, and I'm only getting the $7.50. But that's a mirage. That's a mirage. That's a mirage. Because honestly, I could go right there to Zappardo's, and I could have gotten a whole handle, plastic, beautiful plastic, 1,750 milliliters for $12.99. Now, I mean, they may not have that sale right now, but it's like these stores take turns having sales. So, I mean, you can get them both really cheap. Now, you can get both of these really cheap now. I don't recall seeing Castillo in any bigger size than a liter, though. I've seen Castillo in the 750s. Mathern has it. It's like $7.99, but you're only getting $7.50. And I've seen it in the liter at some stores. Get an extra 250 milliliters. And it's cheap. But is it way worse than Bacardi? No. It's their value price brand. It's not as good as Bacardi, but it's not way worse. Avoid Jose Cuervo Gold, all costs. Traditional white is very good. I'm going to try Jose Cuervo because it's the most famous tequila in the world. That's right. It's tequila you say you never reviewed. Yeah, I never even tried tequila until a week and a half ago. Yeah, Jose Cuervo. I'll try it. I mean, they got the cheap Jose Cuervo, $20 a bottle. And then Total Wine and More has some for $250, $250. And that's not even the most expensive. So you understand, Jose Cuervo is like all these other companies, including Bacardi. They got their regular old run-of-the-mill stuff, and then they got, $20 a bottle. And then they got their $40, $50, $60, $70, $400 a bottle super deluxe specialty editions. But their main money is coming from the run-of-the-mill stuff. Cuervo is making most of their money from what? Cuervo Silver, Cuervo Gold. not this super high-end $200, $250 bottles. I mean, people will buy it. Where do you think Johnny Walker's making their money? From Blue Label? I don't think so. It's from Red Label and the black, especially the red, but black also. It's just the way it works. I talk to these liquor guys all the time, distributors, salesmen. You might laugh at the low-end wines like Mogan David, Manischewitz, all that. They don't laugh. Carlo Rossi. Those guys tell me if we didn't sell that, we'd be out of business in about a month. Because that's where the high volume money is. They said, that's the big money, man. Yeah, we got the $600 bottle of wines, but you just barely sell any of those. He said, it's the Mogan David that sells like crazy. New Year's Eve, people would just be buying it like crazy, and they'd be buying champagne. So let's not be too judgmental about the low end, the bottom shelf stuff. Obviously, it's the cheap stuff. I mean, we can see that. We know that. That's why it's cheap. Get it? I got people telling me things I know already, like telling me that stuff's cheap. Well, yeah, I know. That's why it was $8.29 for a liter, because it's cheap. I'm talking about the tequila, But even my friend David, who's downgrading some of those products, he'll tell you right now he loves Keystone light beer. He says it's a great value, and he'll go on and talk about craft beer and say some things that are probably not going to be popular in the movement and so forth. And I agree with all of his rants. Like when he's ranting and raving about it, I agree. I always say, you're right. And so, but with liquor, he'd be a lot more finicky. Well, that makes sense though, because liquor is a sipper, right? It's not a drinker, like beer, Yeah. So yeah, I guess I got to think about it along those lines too. And he told me the other night, I'm going to buy some mezcal. I don't know why. I just had mentioned it, and it got in his mind. You see, that got in his head. And if he gets it in his head, he's going to act on it. So he was running to Total Wine and More, and he told me about he bought one, but he didn't say the brand. He was kind of complaining about it. He's saying it didn't really taste that good. These are really troublesome. Come on, Daylight. Let's go. So, which of these tastes better? Neither. Because it's a tie. You hear what I'm saying? A tie. That means nobody wins. They're just both. They're good. Good. You hear what I mean? Good. Like you took a test and you made a B. So the teacher said, it was a good score. You're not going to get a sticker. You're not going to get a star, but you did well. It was a good score. A B. Not going to make a career out of it, but you did fine. And that's what these are. So is it a good thing that you can get a good rum for a good price? And my thinking it is. $7.99 a liter, $9.99 at $7.50, mix and match. Yeah. Now, is the tequila going to be any good for that cheap cut rate, low price? I cannot answer that. I have no idea. I've never tried tequila but once in my life when I was at River Ridge Discount a week before this past Saturday, and they let me try Avion Silver. And I'll say, whoa, I love that smoky bell pepper taste. So I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll start buying tequila because it was so interesting. Now, I've tried all of these tequila flavored beers. You see what I'm saying? They got all kind of those. So I knew the sort of mentality of it with the Cayman Jack margarita, the original Club Tails margarita. Those are like tequila flavored beer. They don't use tequila. They can't. They could, but they use blue agave. So they're trying to mimic that. And they're very nice. They're trying to taste like a margarita, what they're trying to taste like. Cuervo traditional. Yeah, I get it. Hey, what's up, man? Says Rob Nugs, some mugs. Nothing, just doing this tasting. So final analysis, it's a tie. So either way it goes, I would just say buy whatever one's cheaper. If you see Castillo and it's a certain price, nice light blue label, isn't it? It's got a picture of the Caribbean islands in the background. If you look carefully, it's a map of the West Indies, and it's got all the islands labeled. Sure does. And or you could get Ronrico, and it shows a beach scene. There's the cabana, the walkway, and if you look very closely, there's people in the background sipping on, obviously, Ronrico. It's a total tie. I mean, it's like the most profound tie ever. So shop price, and when you finish doing that, shop price. Get it? These are a total tie. Even, Steven, all the way. Do they taste exactly the same? I wouldn't say that. But they're very close. Oh, so very close. Whiskey Scout says, if it's any consolation to you, I just checked my outside thermometer and it's -9 degrees Fahrenheit here. That is a consolation to me. I'm in misery with this cold. I'm going to tell you right up, straight up, I hate it. But I would be even more miserable with that. Tide means equally made for mixing with Coke. I'm pretty sure that's what they are, because when you buy it and you immediately on the back of the bottle, it's got a recipe for a cocktail. There you go. They immediately direct your eyes. Mix it with this. Ronrico Caribbean Breeze. There's a recipe on the back. That means don't drink it neat, because they want you to buy it again. If you drink it neat, you might never buy it again. But I'm easy to please, I guess. They taste fine to me. I don't ever mix drinks. I never make cocktails. I never drink cocktails. I never care about cocktails. I have no mindset to cocktails. Am I anti-cocktailite? No, I'm not. Do I have animosity towards people who drink cocktails? No, I do not. Cocktail culture is very big in New Orleans. They claim they invented cocktails. That's a far-fetched claim, isn't it? But they did invent Sazerac down there. And there's a show that comes on the radio once a week, Tales of the Cocktail. There's the Sazerac House, a free museum. You can tour it. It's all about, guess what? Making cocktails. And then, of course, when the free tour is over, you are invited and, of course, encouraged to buy all assortment of gift items, trinkets, and actual liquor. But I'm a neat guy. You say, you're a neat guy? You're praising yourself. You think you're neat? No, what I mean is I drink stuff neat. You get it? Straight. I don't mix it with ice, water, or anything. Because that's my control group. You see, room temperature, neat, no ice, no water, just neat. Then you can compare. Because then when you start bringing in variables, you disrupt the experiment. And I see people doing this all the time. They'll say, this is a taste challenge. And I'm like, well, you got so many variables. How can it be a true challenge? And the worst is when they're looking at it, not a blind taste test. They're saying, here's Budweiser and here's Miller High Life. And I'm looking at the Budweiser and I'm looking at the Miller High Life. I hate Budweiser. They're the evil one. They go on about it. Miller, my grandpa used to drink that and he took me fishing. I'm like, okay, so they pouring it. Yeah, I knew it. I was like, all right, you didn't know nothing because it's not a blind taste test. Honestly, there's really no purpose in trying to do a reveal because I really don't know. We have 7 inches of snow and expecting some more today. Sounds miserably miserable. I'll put a little drop of water in a shot, says Darkly. There's nothing wrong with that. See, I'm not saying people shouldn't do it. I know people that only drink cocktails. Only. They're like Walter and Maude, Walter and Maude, they only drink cocktails. And at a minimum, they were going to add ice, on the rocks. Okay, fine. I'm not against that. I don't even oppose it. In fact, I actually encourage it, really, if that's what you want to drink. I'm not opposed to adding water. I'm saying for my taste challenge purposes, which is sort of a utilitarian tournament, if you want to call it tournament type approach, where I'm just going round and round like this endless merry-go-round, saying, here's a liquor, let me try it. I do it solo. And then I taste test it against all the other previous ones. That's what I like to do. Does it accomplish much? No. It's fun. I mean, it's interesting, but I don't know why somebody would drink liquor and do videos and think you're accomplishing something. Now you say, well, I work for Bacardi and they pay me. I do videos for them. I am part of their company. That's my job. Well, yeah, that would accomplish something because that's your career. It would accomplish promotions for the company. You're a promo guy. Yeah, well, I mean, but what I'm doing here, a private person with no connection to any beer, wine, or liquor company, just making videos endlessly about every assortment of beer, wine, and liquor, very expensive down to the ultra cheap. There's no goal. You understand? I'm not on any kind of great quest. I'm not here to accomplish anything. It's just something to do. It's fun to do it. Okay, it's like watching a movie on TV. You say, I'm watching a movie. Nobody's going to stop you and say, what's your goal? What does this mean? What are you trying to achieve? You're going to look at them like they're crazy. You're just saying, man, dude, I'm watching a movie. What are you talking about? What are you, stupid? Are you high? So if somebody asked you a question about that, you would think they were insane, like they had lost their mind, or they were troubled in some way, had some kind of anxiety disorder. But if I do this, just taste beer, wine, and liquor just to do it, that bothers some people. Like, what is the goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Nothing. How many times do I have to say that? Okay. I think, and I'm going to tell you right now, I have no confidence whatsoever in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But I think that perhaps this is the Castillo. All right? Perhaps. Drewski Brewski, cheers to you. Why do I think it's the Castillo? Well, because of that slight little fermented whatever that is in the grass note. But I'm not going to say I'm calling it. I'm not going to claim I'm calling it because it's not fair. I'm telling you, I can't really tell them apart. It's a 50-50 shot. So there's only two products. So I got a 50% chance of getting it right anyway. A coin toss. So I don't want to claim what I didn't earn. And I did not earn this, so I'm not claiming this. So I'm just going to say, off the record, let's count this as an exhibition match. This is not, I'm going to say this is the Castillo. Yeah. It's the Ronrico. Man, I'm like the Detroit Lions a few years ago, 0-16. Remember that year they won no games and lost 16? Weren't they the first NFL team ever to go winless and with no ties either? You say, lost every single game they played. I think they were the first team to do that. I know they had some teams that did go winless, but they had ties. Like the 1960 Dallas Cowboys. They didn't win a game, but they did tie one. Oh, wait, what am I thinking about? It was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were the first team. That's right. In 1976, 0-14. Forgot about that. Before they started 16 games. That's right, Tampa Bay. They were the first winless team. The Detroit Lions were just the first team to go 0-16, which makes sense because they used to not play 16 games. They only played 14 until 1978. But through all the history of the National Socialist Football League, they had never had a team to go winless and no ties until Tampa Bay in 1976. That's right. Even the horrible Dallas Texans, which lasted 1 year, 1952. Literally, that was a team in Dallas. They lasted 1 year. And then they went bankrupt because they were underfunded. The owner didn't really have any much money relative to the other teams. And they had there was no television contracts back then. That didn't start till 1956. And when they started the CBS NFL national-wide coverage contract in 1956 for the 56th season, that really made the NFL big. Before that, it was popular, but not particularly popular. And definitely not in the South because they only had radio really no one had television. It wasn't on TV. So, but the Dallas Texans 1952 team did go bankrupt. They lasted one season. And then they took the relics of that team and awarded it to Baltimore to make the new Baltimore Colts, 1953 Baltimore Colts. But even that team, as bad as they were, did tie one game. They did tie a game. No, wait, they won a game. What am I thinking? They won. They won. They beat the Chicago Bears. And the team was so bankrupt, they couldn't even play at their home field. They had to play at a high school stadium somewhere in Illinois. And from what I read, the owner of the Bears just went berserk after the game because they had lost to the Dallas Texans. He went crazy, George Halas, the guy that was the creator of the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Staleys in 1919, I think they started before the NFL existed. It was called the Decatur Staleys. It was a company. The Staley, I don't know, they made like meat tenderizer or something like that. And it was Decatur Staleys. Then they moved to Chicago and became the Chicago Staleys. And I guess that name didn't exactly roll off the tongue, Staleys. And I don't think they kept sponsoring it anyway, so they changed the name to the Bears. But he was the head coach, and he played for them. He was a player and a coach, and actually was the longest tenured NFL coach because he started coaching the Bears when they started in 1919 as the Staleys. And he continued, I think he took a break, but he continued into like 1968. And I remember when he was still the owner until he died in 1983. He was so old, 90 something, But apparently he went berserk when they lost to the Dallas Texans. He was cursing the team and everything in the locker room. You bums, you trash. How could you lose to this team? This team is horrible. We're the Chicago Bears. We've won multiple NFL championships, and you're going to lose to them? Of course, they weren't motivated. And then the Texans were saying, haha, as bad as we were, we still beat y'all. So that kind of went down in history. Oh, well, if you read about the Dallas Texans, you find out they had a lot of very good players on their team. Just the team was terrible. I think Tom Landry, I believe, played for them. I know he played for of course, the New York Giants. He was a coach for the Giants, assistant coach before he went to the Cowboys. All right, anyway, couldn't tell them apart. Didn't get it right. No big deal because they're so common one to the other. So the lesson of today is that these two rums are common one to another, very common one to another. They're not bad. They're not bad by any means, but they're certainly not remarkable in any way. But that's fine because you're not paying a lot. All right, so tomorrow, wish me luck. I need your sympathy because I'm going up against, I think it's Ronrico. Oh, no, not the infamous Ronrico. That will not be a challenge because Ronrico never wins ever. Thank you. Hello, Ron. No fans left. National Socialist Football League. Yeah, right. Cubs and the Bears are worst off. 16 games. I'm from Michigan. That's my team. Laughing my anatomy off. You, says Burley. I was hearing things, says Dark Lotus. Somebody that will get a good team. Poor Stafford. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Stafford, right. All right. Thanks.